And then I'd like to also welcome Greg Henson, who's our partner from the Henson Group. Come on. And then I want to welcome Sam Laxowitzer, who's our inside seller. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks, Gavriella.
Welcome. All right, have a seat. Let's tell this story. You guys are going to, this is going to resonate with you because you're all going to think, oh, yeah, I've done that, or I could do that, right? All right, so let's start with you, Chad. Chad, tell us about your business application and the challenges that you are facing.
Okay, so we are a SaaS offering. We do human capital management. So as you saw a little bit on the slide, we do payroll, time and attendance, benefits, the whole piece, so a one-stop shop. Basically what ended up happening was the president of our company came into my office one day and said, we've got a little project for you. And he essentially said that we need to move from our traditional data center that we were hosted into a cloud environment within 2 weeks. Huh. And he said that tongue-in-cheek, you know, we laughed and everything, but it really expressed the urgency that we had to get out of our data center. We had a number of different challenges with failures and security concerns and the growth that you saw in the movie there. So, and that growth is only continuing to grow at this point in time. So we needed a solution, and we needed it fast.
Great. So what made you decide to reach out to Microsoft? Why think about Azure?
So we had a number of different solutions that we were looking at, but it really made sense for us because our product is built out of the Microsoft environment. Everything that we do is Microsoft-based. So it seemed like it would be a very natural fit. And then once I contacted Microsoft and got put into contact with Sam, and then by extension, the Henson Group, everything started to fall into place at that point in time. So you're an ISV. You've had an application on premise for a while. Mm-hmm. Need to move out of the data center, and decided Azure might be the first place to look because your application is largely dependent on Microsoft technologies in the past. Exactly.
Okay, great. So Sam, tell us, what did you hear when you heard Chad tell you that story, and then what made you think of the Henson Group?
Sure. So as a demand response seller, focusing on the sell with motion, of course, it's part of our process to offer 3 partner choices to our customers. But I think more importantly, it's about offering the right partner options to our customers at the right time. So when talking to Chad and iSolved, it really is just simply about listening to their business needs and some of the concerns that they're talking about, like Chad was saying about some of the security concerns that they had, along with the aggressive timeline that we were working with, and really just the size and the scale of the project in general were all key points that that iSolved needed for their success. So Henson Group, as they often do, met a lot of that criteria to help with that project. So after getting Greg and Chad connected, I think that Greg and his team did a phenomenal job of really instilling confidence in iSolved that they were the right partner to assist with that project.
Great, thank you. So Greg, how did this land with you? Like when you started to have that conversation, what did you do when that lead came in?
Sure. Well, so first of all, thank you for allowing us to come, for the invitation and the opportunity to tell our One Microsoft story. You know, when I got the call from Chad, you know, we could sense his urgency, and you know, he had to get out of there very quickly. There were a lot of issues that he was running into. The first thing I did was assemble, I conferenced in right away that day. Our head of services, Abik Duda, one of our Azure MVPs. We have several. And within a few days, we had provided him full pricing, a migration plan, an architecture, and actually, we even did a POC within those first few days. So
wow.
we met the velocity of the speed that he needed at that time.
Yep.
And so, you know, I believe Chad chose us as his CSP provider because we were able to meet the speed and quickness that he needed, but also we wrap in there a lot of services and IP into our CSP offering that provided a lot of value for iSolved.
So let's take a step out of this opportunity for a minute and give you the opportunity to share a little bit of the background about the Henson Group.
Sure. So Henson Group is a global provider of CSP licensing, managed services, and consulting. We're unique in that we do wrap in services and an IP into our CSP offering. We are currently in Canada, US, Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, Costa Rica, as well as UK, Kenya, and Africa. And I work out of our US headquarters, which is on the 85th floor of the World Trade Center in New York City.
Wow, okay, great. And can you tell me a little bit about how your business has grown through the opportunities of working with Microsoft?
Sure, definitely. So, 2 years ago, we were a local SI. We had about 12 employees. We were growing. We had 0 CSP customers. CSP wasn't around 2 years ago. And we were growing about 10% annually. Then CSP came out, and like Vegas, we went all in on CSP. And we were so happy that we did it. It was a great program. Now, fast forward 2 years later, we have over 100 customers in CSP, over 100 employees. We're in 9 different countries. And our revenue is actually growing 25% every month.
Every month. So from
10%
10% a year to 25% every month. Wow.
Yep.
All right. Well, so Chad, let's jump back into the storyline. So how did this all go? You talked to Greg, and then what happened?
Yeah, so once we got put in contact with the Henson Group, at that point in time, we didn't really even know what was available as far as the partners were concerned. So our big concern was we had a huge complex environment. And Aaron, what did the end result end up being in Azure?
Yeah, we were pretty well entrenched in a traditional data center environment, and our group of engineers had minimal to no experience with Azure. So we needed a group that we could bring in that could provide some context and some guidance for those areas. And when it was all said and done, what was a fairly large, complex environment in a traditional data center, we ended up with over 260 VMs in Azure, multiple terabytes of storage in Azure. We had a full DR environment set up when it was all said and done, so we got the whole process in less than 4 months.
Less than 4 months, wow. And so did that meet your needs?
Yeah, and on every aspect of the experience, I guess not only were the needs met, but expectations that we didn't even know we had were fulfilled. And I think kind of the throwback to a raving customer, and given the fact that we had to migrate this entire environment, 109 different partner environments with 0 outages over the course of 4 months was exceptional to us. And we were very, very pleased.
Well, we like to surprise and delight our customers. So, Greg, this sounds great. Did it all go smoothly from your side?
Like all major projects that have to be done by tomorrow, of course we ran into speed bumps. It's to be expected. We had some great project managers on this project led by Ralph Bruno on our side. But also we leveraged our Microsoft Premier Support for Partners agreement. That really helped us get to problem resolution a lot faster than we could have. But I'll also say one thing that was really unique about this, oftentimes Microsoft will hand us a lead and they kind of walk away. In this case with Sam and his management, they had the pulse on this migration the whole time. Anytime we had an issue, Sam, his manager, Kara Colden, her manager, Kelly Obach, jumped in, escalated everything up to the product group, and got us the results that we needed to deliver on time and under budget.
Yeah.
So that was a really huge help.
So in the background, you guys had a really strong partnership. You were tightly connected. You were checking in. Great job, Sam. Thank you. And making sure that we were just meeting the needs all along the way. And then we brought all of the forces of Microsoft with Premier support and all of the kind of resources and programs we had in the background to the fore. And on your side, all you knew was this just worked, right?
Yeah. From my point of view, with Sam and the Henson Group, it was very fluid and very painless.
That's awesome.
I was very much appreciative of that.
Great. So Chad, now that we're done with this part of the project, the urgency, what's next? Do you say, hey, thanks, Greg, bye? Or like, what do you think? What are you thinking?
Well, so part of this whole thing was, the urgency with which we had to approach this project. I didn't want a hard sell on all these other different options. I didn't have time for that. And thankfully, all they cared about was what I needed. As a result of that, and the technical expertise and the responsiveness that I had with Henson and Sam even, I've drug him into a lot of problems as well. all that stuff got sorted out so quickly that now when I have a new project, like for example, we've got a new code base that we acquired that's in AWS. I'm thinking, we don't know AWS, how am I going to get this out of AWS and possibly into Azure? Henson Group. Without a second thought, that was the first thing I thought. So now he's my hero. So that's how happy we've been with the whole situation.
That's awesome. So, you know, the key takeaways from this really are make it easy for the customer, right? We want to be the provider that's the easiest to do business with. Make it easy, be agile, listen to what the customer needs, make sure we get the right partner in at the right time. Build that relationship. Don't go for a hard sell. Go for just delivering on early and under budget what the customer needs, and then you grow the relationship from there. Because you know what? That customer lifetime value grows and grows, and it creates a win-win-win. A win for Microsoft, a win for the Henson Group, and a win for iSolved. So thank you so much, you guys. Really appreciate your partnership.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Gavriella, you did well too.
Oh,
Good
thanks.
job.
Thank you.
Hey, give it up for the customers and the team here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's fantastic when we talk about everything, actually seeing it come to life throughout the sales cycle, so it's terrific. So thank you for sharing that experience. What I'd like to do now is just invite the SMC field leaders, OCP field leaders to come up on stage with me. And hopefully you got the message. We said to sit close to the stage. If not, you have quite a walk to do.
You didn't even know you had this many leaders all invested in you, did you?
Fantastic.
You guys might want to move down a little bit.
Full room.
We got everyone?
Nice.
Oh, a few last stragglers.
Lunch, right?
What's that?
To do lunch?
Oh, absolutely.
Still mic'd up, I guess.
We won't talk about the last one. Okay. Hey, the reason I wanted this team up here, we started the beginning talking about the customer at the center. And I promise you, we are going to change the game in this segment. The customer is always going to be at the center. We're going to be known for it in the company and in the industry. This leadership team that's up here, we work for all of you. And the reason I want them up here is because it's servant leadership. We serve you. You're going to serve this customer. I can't wait for FY19, celebrate the successes we've had, and can't wait to go on the journey with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you.